You mean it's my turn? Oh,
Call to order at 5:34.
yep, let's call this meeting to order. We need a roll call here. I don't have a list of members. I got, are you Chris?
Yes.
You're here. And I got Lisa, she's here, and I'm here. That's it.
State your name, sir, please.
No.
Who are we starting with?
I'm sorry.
Who are we starting with?
I said state your name, please, Mr. Spada.
Oh, Joe Spada?
Yes, good, thank you.
We've got review of emergency evacuation plan. We've got the back door out and to the left. We can go into the chambers and straight across.
Right out the back, that's correct.
Back and
There's not a
I
whole
see an
lot of us
exit
here. I
sign
think
over
we'll
there. I'd go
handle it.
someplace.
Okay. Approval of minutes, we didn't really have any.
No. The minutes have been approved already, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get down to new business.
There we go.
I guess that's this list of names we have. First on the list, we've got Kevin Breen.
Good evening, acting chairman and members of the tax board and Assessor Martini. My name is Helen Anthony, and I'm here from Handy Law, 42 Way Bassett Street, Providence, Rhode Island, 02903. And if it's all right with you, I will be addressing the first four items, I believe, on your agenda. 1, 2, 3, 4, the first four appeals. And the reasoning for the appeals is similar in each case. So I'm wondering if I might discuss them together. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I represent Bedoin, Breen, Randall, Morton, and Green Development with regard to their appeal of these 2021 assessment of properties, and they're located throughout Coventry. As you may be aware, Green Development entered into long-term leases with these various property owners for the construction and operation of 1.5 megawatt wind turbines. Prior to the construction of the wind turbines, I believe all of the properties were located in R5A zones, and the properties were assessed under the Farm, Forest, and Open Space Program. After the wind turbines were complete, the town increased the value of the 2 acres under the turbines. That 2 acres have now been reduced to 1 acre recently by Assessor Martini. When she looked at how the town had historically handled the assessments, she felt that the 2 acres should be reduced to 1 acre. So I'm very appreciative of that. We settled quite a few of our old tax appeals and entered into a settlement agreement with the town. So tonight I am here only addressing the 2021 assessments. So we are contending, it's our contention that the increase in valuation is illegal, that renewables are manufacturing equipment and as such are exempt from taxation. And that is clear case law from the case DePasquale versus Swike, which was a 2016 case in North Kingstown. Notwithstanding that exemption, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 44-5-3C, municipalities may tax renewable energy only pursuant to rules and regulations that are promulgated by the Rhode Island Office of Energy Resources. So in 2017, the Office of Energy Resources promulgated rules establishing a tangible tax formula that municipalities must adopt by ordinance. And they said in their rules that the municipalities may only tax according to the rules and regulations. And those rules and regulations only provide for tangible tax, not for an increase in the valuation of the taxes beneath the land. That is our interpretation of that statute. So why we're here is we have a number of cases pending throughout the state right now. We are on this very, very, very issue of whether these rules and regulations are the only manner by which these renewable energy developments can be assessed. And so, as you know, the town of Coventry has adopted the tangible tax formula and $5 per kilowatt. So they're already assessing the turbines at $7,500, I believe, per turbine. So it's our contention if the renewable energy projects can only be taxed by an ordinance adopting the OER's formula, then the classification and valuation of the underlying real estate cannot include the tangible asset. Otherwise, it would be taxed twice. The underlying real estate must be taxed as if those tangibles aren't there, which is in this case is some figure that we believe should have been calculated by RIDEM. So we understand that the property underneath the wind turbines had to be revalued at some rate because they were in the farm, forest, and open space. So it can't stay farm, forest, and open space. But under that program, we believe that it should have been RIDEM that should have figured out what that value should be. So while we're not contesting the fact that it should have changed in some way, we think the increase in tax that has been assessed has been not right. So we're here today appealing these taxes. I will tell you that we have, as I said, appeals pending all over the state. We have a case that is before the Supreme Court. It's a case out of Lincoln. So it's this very issue of whether the municipalities can tax the land underneath the renewable energy projects. We also have, there was legislation introduced last year that was going to clarify the legislation, which really does need clarifying. That unfortunately, time ran out. It was passed by the Senate, but wasn't passed by the House. That legislation has been reintroduced this year. So we think it's either going to be decided by state legislation or by the Supreme Court, because no municipality is so far everyone has denied our appeals, and they are waiting for someone else to make the decision as to how this is going to be resolved.
Okay, he just hit us with a boatload there, but
I'm so sorry. I can.
we'll take all this under advisement.
Well,
And let you know. You got anything you want to ask or say?
I do, because my own personal feeling is we can wrap this up tonight pretty easily. Your presentation now is slightly different than the letter that we received as part of the application, because I did notice that the letter you sent with your application seemed to have a whopper of an assumption in it. And you stated it twice in your letter. And you said it tonight, due to the presence of the wind turbine, that 1 acre is valued as improved land. Well, no, it has nothing to do with the presence of the wind turbine. And you said it yourself tonight, the land has value. So if we were to go to that property, any of these, you're right, they're all basically the same.
Correct.
And I assume either you've been there or you've seen aerial photographs of what these look like.
I actually was representing Green when they put them up, so I've seen them.
So you've
I've
been
seen them, yes.
So if you were standing on one of these lots and we took the wind turbine down, you would be standing on a cleared piece of property
Correct.
that has a road going to it and utilities going to it. So it's improved. It's not the same as the forest surrounding it, correct?
I agree with that. It would not be subject to the same as the forest around it. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And in fact, it was taken out of farm, forest, and open space for some reason. It wouldn't qualify for that program, presumably.
That's correct.
So we're in agreement that the land has been improved and has value. And it seems to me the only disagreement here is that you're arguing that this should be assessed by the state rather than the towns. And that's the question that's out there.
That's yes.
So,
That's our understanding of the farm, forest, and open space. I mean, it's our understanding based on the program that any property that comes out of farm, forest, and open space the value should be determined by RIDEM, or they should have a policy.
Well, if it is connected to a wind turbine, an energy project.
No, anyone. That's my understanding of the program.
Any parcel of land that comes out
of farm, forest, and open space. I haven't seen, unless you have rules and regulations, but it's my understanding of when they come out of farm, forest, and open space, it's got to be,
They don't assess it. The town
That-
assesses it.
and is there rules by which you assess those according to how it comes out? I mean, I just don't think
course.
there are any clear rules. I haven't seen them. And if you,
It will be assessed like any other land in town, but through the legal.
okay, all right, well,
So
that,
I was under the assumption that the issue was if the land was being used under some energy production, that therefore there was some superseding potentially state rule. Now you're saying, oh, no, this is just if it comes out farm, forest, and open space, it's supposed to be assessed by somebody else. I don't believe that at all. That argument, I don't understand. If it's a court deciding that one, okay. Personally, I don't understand the connection between this. It's being assessed because of the turbine. No, it's being assessed because it was cleared, roads were brought to it, and utilities were brought to it, regardless of the existence of a turbine. Take the turbine away, you still have an improved.
so
piece
then none of
property.
those improvements would have been there, but for the installation of the wind turbine.
Well, that may be true, but
Okay,
but
and that's
as
what we're arguing.
But that may absolutely be true. On your own tax bill, I'm sure you'll notice that your own assessment will have building and land value. There's the turbine, the personal property, and you've got the land.
But the
So-
land
so-
upon which the land has been improved only because of the turbine being located there.
So that's
So
entirely irrelevant.
I don't think it is. And so that's what we're
Oh.
saying. And so I think that's where we're going to have to agree to disagree. But for the turbine being there, though, that land would not have been improved. And so
You could
we
say that.
think that the only way that this is, according to the rules, the only way this can be taxed is as a tangible tax.
Not
That
the
it can't
land.
affect the increase. It can't, if there is an increase of value in the property underneath the turbines, do solely because of the construction of those turbines, we're believing that is illegal too. That increase is illegal.
That seems completely irrelevant. The reasons why someone might improve property or change the status of the property could be for any number of reasons.
So-
And you're saying in this particular case, if it's a turbine, this set of rules apply. Except for the strange farm, forest, and open space argument, you're saying this is superseded by the government entity regulating energy production by wind turbines. Court is free to decide that. In the meantime, towns have had the power to tax property for, I don't know, decades.
I do understand that. So,
And it's an
so there
improved
was,
property.
I would only add that, the purpose that OER promulgated those rules was to create a clear and simple framework that provides municipalities and just developers certainty regarding taxation of renewable energy resources. So the renewable energy is the difference here. I mean,
But the certainty is there because, okay, there's already a rule established for the tangible personal property. There are regulations over the taxation of the energy itself, and land has been taxed under the way it's been taxed for decades. There's a way to assess improved land. I don't see where the uncertainty comes in.
And open space land, according to DEM, is land in its true and natural state. That's the prerequisite
baseline.
to be in open space. It's not in its true and natural state.
So it doesn't make sense to return it back to an open space value. It has been improved. Roads brought to it, utilities brought to it, it's cleared.
I understand exactly where you're coming
Forget the
from.
turbine. I don't care. Turbine comes down, the owner can do something else to the land. So
Which has been approved because the turbine was located there. But I think I really do feel that, after having Coventry, I will tell you, is significantly different than what's going on in the rest of the state, at least the appeals we have in other, the assessed values are significant. They're assessing solar taxes, basically solar assessments, increasing the values and calling them solar farms. But this is different here. Wind turbines, only 1 acre. But still we are preserving our right under our pending under the legislation, even though we don't anticipate it'll be retroactive. But we do think our Supreme Court case is going forward, and it may impact how this property underneath the turbines is assessed.
And I will take you completely at your word on that and say if this is up in the air, and if it's up in the air, then I think our duty is to continue to tax it the way we have historically. My own personal opinion on this is that this is improved property because, well, it is. It's cleared as utilities as a road going to it. I couldn't care if less the turbines on or not. Frankly, please take your turbines down, but that's another issue. I do not buy that it's being valued because of the existence of the turbine. I would uphold the assessed value on all four of these properties if it were me.
I'm just wrapping my head around that at any point, once you put a structure on a piece of land, the land becomes more valuable. And it's just because it's serving a purpose. And I understand that the turbine is a tangible item, but you need something. Once something is affixed to a parcel of land, it does improve its value and its functionality. You can't have a floating tangible somewhere out there unless you affix it to something, that being a parcel of some sort. So,
May I add?
please.
I also think that part of the argument is that it should remain in the open space valuation design through DEM. And I will reiterate, open space is for raw, undisturbed land in its natural state.
I have learned a lot from your assessor. She's excellent.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, we will notify you within 2 weeks.
Thank you.
What are we doing?
Do you want to take a vote
You
now?
have to either put this down for another date and have them come back and vote, or we vote now.
So what are you saying?
We cannot do our decision in private and deliver the decision. We have to give the decision now and put it down for that date.
All right.
Somebody needs to make a
I know.
motion.
I would make a motion to deny the appeal. Is not found to be an illegal tax as the valuation is not based on the existence of the turbine.
I'll second that.
Carried.
Thank you. I appreciate your time
Thank you.
and your consideration.
Thank you, Helen.
Okay, we have the Albano Group.
Ready? Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Noonan. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Adler, Pollock and Sheehan in Providence, and I represent the owner of the property for the appeals that are 2021 6 through 13. And the owner of record is Fiskville Realty Co. 1 LLC. This property has already been appealed in the past and is currently in the Superior Court. So we're here, first of all, to preserve our rights and obtain a decision from you. We do have Mr. Tom Andolfo here this evening. He had prepared an appraisal, which I've shared with Mr. Pogue on the other pending Superior Court cases. And I apologize well, I won't say the three of us, I won't include Tom, but between myself and the client, we thought that he had forwarded the appraisal to you. So I don't know if your pleasure is to have Mr. Andolfo speak to you tonight without having the physical of.
We have it.
We have it.
Oh, you have it?
I
Oh.
gave it to them.
Oh, good. Well, that issue just resolved itself. Okay, fine. Then that's easy. Great. In that case, then I don't have too much data aside from inviting Mr. Andolfo up to discuss the property, and then either he or myself can address any questions that you might have regarding the property.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Tom Andolfo. I'm a MAI real estate appraiser located at 216 Weybosset Street, Providence, Rhode Island. My qualifications are included within the appraisal, I believe. I conducted an appraisal of 538 Main Street, retrospective to a assessment date of December 31st, 2019. My valuation for that property as of that date was $1,200,000. This property is essentially a Class C industrial mill building that was originally constructed in 1922 with subsequent additions in 1936 and 1991. Overall building area is approximately 90,352 square feet. And of that area, about 11,000 square feet is located in the city of Cranston. So if you look at the aerial photo within the front section of my appraisal, you should see the dividing line between the town of Coventry and the city of Cranston. You will note that not only is a portion, 11,000 square foot portion of the building located in Cranston, but also approximately 2/3 of the parking area for this property is located in Cranston, as well as a portion of the property's septic system. Overall, I classified this property as average, but with respect to having some detrimental functional conditions, and the fact that the 90,000 square feet of building space is subdivided within 20 different building sections. So you don't have a building that's all clear span. You have a building that has 20 different rooms or sections that have various ceiling heights and various areas. And that poses a functional problem when you compare this to more modern industrial properties that are available in the state. In valuing the property, I took into account its age and the functional layout that I had described, the ceiling heights, et cetera. It has a freight elevator that's non-functional. The freight elevator cost to replace that would be approximately $200,000. It's essentially an old mill building that is difficult to really function in. I mean, they're doing a good job with respect to this business, but if the property, in my opinion, were placed on the market for sale, it would have a difficult time gaining buyer interest. An example of what I'm just stating is the fact that this property had a sister property, which is located across the street on Main Street. And that's reflected in my appraisal on page 34, which is 537 Main Street. That particular building was almost 128,000 square feet on almost 15 acres of land. And it sold 3 months after the valuation date that we're looking at, sold in March 2020 for $400,000 or $3.51 a foot. At the time of sale, that particular property was assessed at just over $1.6 million. And upon sale, it was revalued or reassessed by the town at $487,000. In valuing the property, I looked at the income approach and the sales comparison approach. I'm not sure what the tax assessor or the reval company used for comps or a rental, market rent. But my market rent was $2.25 a foot triple net. And I did a income analysis based upon a direct capitalization method, which is shown on page 30 of my report. And with respect to sales, I gave 4 comparable sales, which I made adjustments to. And in both instances, in both the income approach and the sales comparison approach, I also accounted for the fact that 11,000 square feet of the building is located in the city of Cranston. So both approaches indicated a narrow range of value. The income approach came in at $1,218,000 when accounting for the Cranston property. And the sales comparison approach came in at $1,171,000 when accounting for the Cranston property. So I reconciled the value of $1.2 million. That's in comparison to the subject's assessed value, which is a little over $2 million. It's $2,030,000, $200. So essentially, I'm about $800,000 less than what the property is assessed for. And again, I haven't had the ability to look at the file or the readout file, see what comps or the income analysis that was employed on your end, but I believe that I'm right on target with my analysis.
All right. I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So on your page 31.
Yep.
With the square footage here, you said that property in Coventry was calculated as 79,377 square feet.
Yes.
That's not what I have from my field card. So where did that number come from?
The total building area is 90,352 square feet. And the portion of the building that's located in Cranston is,
So you measured it?
the property owner had an actual measurement done of the property of the building. They had someone come in, an architect or an engineer to come in and measure the building.
That's not included though here. You don't have a copy of that here. No,
Well, no, I mean, I don't have it with me, but what's your measurement?
I have that we have 86,428 square feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're a little bit higher. We're at 90,352, but that
No.
includes the Cranston end of it.
But you're saying that in Coventry, you did 79,377.
Right. Plus the 11,000 square feet in Cranston.
I don't assess the 11,000 square,
I know you don't. Yeah, so you're at 86,000 just for Coventry.
right?
Would it just
No.
helpful on the field cards, if we got that document from the.
Well, I'm just wondering where the discrepancy came from. I didn't know where he got his 79,000.
And like I said, if we have that from, the measurements that were done, I'm sure I could apply on an engineering company, the particular person, and provide those to you if that would make a difference.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if I have the wrong square footage
Sure.
or if Coventry, if Cranston does, and how's it split up there?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
place to start. So, all right, I'll make a note, try to get that either to, probably if we want, right, so.
Okay, thank you. So then that would, if we use the actual square footage that we're using, it would be the 1.3258 number. And
Yeah,
then
close to it,
is your 1.2 number including all the land?
Eight.
All possible?
Or are they
So
not
it's
even
included-
in
it's included-
consideration?
No, it's including all the Coventry land.
All the
Yeah,
land?
18.
So where is that valued?
It's within the overall property value that I came up with.
In this square footage?
Yes.
Okay.
So as you had started saying that you were hired to do an appraisal of 538 Main Street. That was first sentence. And there are 8 parcels as part of this appeal or 8 separate applications to challenge.
Well,
have you seen where these parcels are? Because I can show, I can show you a map of where these parcels are relative to the mill. Carrie, I actually sent this to you by email. I don't know if you can get it or not, but
Oh, you
I
just-
took
I
the-
have it on GIS right here. I can
Okay.
get them for you.
5 of these parcels are not contiguous to the mill. And in fact, aren't even within 400 square feet of the mill. 3 of the parcels are on the other side of a river. 4 of the parcels are on a different side of a river. They're not even close to the mill building, the mill parcel. And I couldn't help notice that all of your comps, and by the way, I need to say something to the attorney, just so that you're aware. This was before the board last year, and we were given zero information on valuation. Had this appraisal been provided to us last year, I think there would have been a far different outcome. We were given nothing as to an opinion of value last year when this appeal was brought to us. So I want you to know that we didn't just arbitrarily say, no, we're denying this. We were given no information.
That's what we did this time.
So I realize you went to court, but you didn't even give us a chance to assess it, to give an opinion. I found your appraisal to be quite good. I liked the comps. I went over it in detail. But I did notice that the comps don't anticipate a building and non-contiguous land. They're all for building and the land naturally around the building, which was being sold. So I'm just having a hard time grasping that this number also includes 5 parcels of land that aren't even close to the property. But you're saying that they are.
I don't have the title with me, but I believe those parcels are the residential parcels.
So
Well, I can show you right here. So here's one, that's one. That is,
now that one is contiguous. That one's contiguous to the mill.
this one is,
It's probably-
it's a little crazy.
Carrie, I think it's easy if you take a copy, if you work off of what Chris has.
You've just sent it to me right now?
I sent by email. I mean, you can take this and you can
Okay.
approach and just take a look at this. There's a 4.7 they're not even zoned the same. I mean, the 5 parcels I'm talking about, one of them aren't even close. So if when I looked at this, it just seemed to me that there was nothing before me on those 5. Now, by the way, the total value of those 5 only comes out to, it's not much. I'm not trying to, but to me, there's nothing in front of me on those 5 parcels. And between what you say those 5 parcels are worth and what we say those 5 parcels are worth is $33,000.
Right.
I'm not trying to make a big deal about it, but I want to just get the focus on what I think the appraisal was actually talking about, which was the mill building and the contiguous pieces around it.
Yeah, well, I'm throwing in the other lots. If you're
Oh,
going to
how do I
sell this,
share
you're going to
this
sell
now?
everything together.
I personally, I disagree with that
The lots
because
you're talking about-
when you see where they are,
Yeah.
you're not going to.
The lots I think you're questioning about is the residential lots, which is 5.28 acres. And they are nominal values. And I can certainly revise my report and segregate those 5 lots.
How do I get this?
Well,
I think, as you just said, you have the value there, 53,000. You want to add that to this or subtract, you can do whatever you want, but I don't think it's, in the end of the day, it's not going to make a big difference on that.
Well, I agree, which is why I was treating your appraisal as applying to the 3 contiguous parcels. And to me, there's nothing before me about the other 5, but they're almost nothing parcels of land.
Yeah.
That's my position is on those 5, this is not before me. The appraisal doesn't cover those 5. The 4.7 acre residential piece, that would have its own appraisal if you really wanted to do it. Frankly, the town has a $73,000. It's too low in my opinion, but I'm not going there.
There it is.
A couple of them are landlocked. I mean, they aren't anything. So if we concentrate on the 3 parcels that are contiguous to the mill complex, and we apply what I thought was a well-reasoned square foot price to them, like I said, I don't disagree with your appraisal for the most part, as it applies to the 3 contiguous parcels on this.
Mhm.
However, there is the discrepancy in the square footage. And when the picture that was up before, which had the GIS picture, which had the town line through it, I mean, I can't differentiate 7,500 square feet necessarily, but it kind of seemed like the town's number was more accurate on a percentage basis when you looked at where the line went through on that picture. So it would be helpful to have the solid square footage numbers if we're going to apply this 1475 to a square foot number.
Okay.
So again, I wish an appraisal had been presented to us last time because it would have saved a lot of grief and lawsuits, frankly. That's my 2 cents on this.
So how are we going to handle this? You're going to submit to Ms. Martini, the engineer's report.
Yeah, what I could do if you want, depending on how the board or want to handle this, I can get what that engineered data that Tom relied on for his report, get it to you and or Mark Oates.
And they also told you that 2/3 is the,
It was broken out and included that calculation.
okay, because that's not, okay.
Yeah. So I can get those to them. I don't know if you want to continue this for that purpose, to have it, or what your inclination is on a matter when the appeals pending in Superior Court. I get your point about not having it last time, but we do have it tonight. We want to make it correct. So let us know your choice, or we can just submit it to Carrie and let her figure out what she wants to do with it, whatever you want.
If we're gonna be making an amendment, I would like to suggest that we take the residential lots out, because I'm not comfortable with the thought that if someone was to go and buy the mill, they're gonna want Potter Court, which is down the street, or Howard, which is down the street. I mean, this isn't a portfolio package.
Well, we'll take a look at that, just because, again, I think I forget where the company is that owns it now, is a European company.
So,
So, yeah, which might probably just sell the whole thing as a package, but point taken, we'll take a look at it and see, maybe those smaller lots, we might keep them in, so the residential, we could call out and see whether or not that's.
Yeah, because our area of focus right now is Main Street, correct?
Well,
And not everything
Yeah.
that they may own. Even if they own, lots in different sections of the town of Coventry, that has nothing to do with what the argument is for the building question.
Right, well, like I said, we'll take a look, so if we need to, when we all of them are under appeal, so that we can just hone it down, and either what do you do, like a supplemental letter?
Have to supplemental appraisal.
Yeah.
on each, yeah.
Supplemental appraisal on it, so we can take care of that and do it, so that may take some time.
I'm gonna toss something out.
Sure.
The $33,000 difference at a $24 or $1,000, you're talking about a tax of about $700 different. Is it worth your call? Don't get me wrong. Do what you want.
Yeah.
My own personal opinion is there's nothing before me on the 5 residential lots. If we were moving forward, I would move just to deny those 5. There's nothing in front of me, and then move forward with the other 3. I'm just tossing it out as an idea. If you really want to do appraisals on those 5 lots and come back to us with it, fine. I just want to point out, you're talking about $700 in tax money.
The only thing I would ask is if you are inclined to deny those reasons, can we do it if we have a subsequent use, or the denials are all on the same date? If we do decide to appeal, I don't have to do 2 separate petitions to Superior Court. Just
We can, if we're continuing, we can continue the whole thing. I don't really care. I just was pointing out that the economics of going one of those spots may not make sense. That's your call, not mine.
Do you have any meetings scheduled? Further meetings scheduled? or-
not yet, no. I do have to schedule another one.
Okay, all right. Then we'll endeavor in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Tom? To pull those together and get that information. And then like I said, notice up a new hearing date, I suppose, whenever you're ready for whatever else you have pending. So we will focus in on the lots that are directly contiguous with the parcel out there, clarify on the engineering analysis of the square footage for the entire portion, including the division between Cranston and the Coventry portion of it. Anything else? Oh, the septic system, did you need more of a breakdown on the septic system, or does that not matter? Whatever Coventry versus Cranston.
So Carrie, are you able to
We make a motion to continue this, or just,
read out how many
I'd like to make a motion to continue in our future
rental
schedule.
rates or counts or?
I do not know what they used for
Do
comps.
I hear a second?
We did go
Second.
look at it.
Okay, motion carried.
Yes,
Great. We'll
Physical inspection.
see you again.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm somewhat at a loss because the gentleman that was my commercial person is now that I did go look at the property with. Mr. Vivenzio is on medical leave, so I cannot ask him anything.
I saw that. That's not awful. I asked what it was, and I believe the last matter that's on the agenda item, I'm not directly involved with it, but I understand it's going to be continued to another date. The
Yeah, because Hamza
Hamza
had,
called you.
yeah.
We're all set
yep,
on that?
Yep. That's
Okay.
going to be, that's why we're having another one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
I can
we'll
make
do
Hamza
those
come to the
together.
meeting. Perfect.
We'll do those together.
Okay.
We thought that would be easiest.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So did we have a motion?
We had a motion to continue to the next meeting,
Thank you.
and then I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Well, we don't have any old business. Any announcements?
I have announcement that we will have one more of these meetings, tax board of review meetings, that will include now Fiskville property and the turbine properties being represented by Adler, Pollock, and Sheehan. Okay.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
Carried.